Have you ever tried to explain something and felt like the other person just didn't understand you?
Or maybe you felt misunderstood even when you were trying your very best to explain yourself.
And that happens to me a lot. Sometimes people have a hard time opening up because when they do, they feel like they're not really heard or understood. Greetings, I am Daniel,
And I am Lina, his mom.
and welcome back to another episode of
What
What If?
if? This is a channel where we talked about life, different perspectives, and the everyday challenges people face.
And every episode starts with one simple question: What if?
We created this space because we enjoy having real conversations about family, life, misunderstandings, and how people see the world differently.
And maybe help people understand each other better.
So today's question is
Why is it so hard to understand each other? Why?
Dani, what does it mean to you when someone really understands you?
I think it means that they're really listening. Not just to hear what I'm saying, but they really listen and try to understand. Because sometimes people look like they're listening, but you can tell they're not. They're just there pretending like your opinion matters, but not really.
Have you ever felt like someone wasn't listening to you?
Yes, I've had that experiences many times. Sometimes when I explain something clearly, I feel like my opinion doesn't matter. Like they don't really see things the way I see them. Even if it's a different perspective, it's still important. But sometimes people are just too focused on their own view to notice that.
What did you say? Ah, just kidding. Can you give me an example of a time when you felt misunderstood?
Yes, there was a time in high school. I had this friend that she and I talked about things like I talked about movies and Marvel. And I could tell she wasn't interested. She pretended she cared about things I was passionate about, and she didn't really connect. After a while, I started to notice, of course, the signs that it wasn't good. It didn't make me feel good on the inside. It made me feel like no one understood me, especially someone that I thought was my friend.
I'm sorry, Dani. From a parent's perspective, I have also realized that sometimes we think we understand, but we don't. Sometimes we assume instead of asking. We think we know what our kids are feeling or what they need and what they mean. And we don't always take the time to really listen to them. And that can create distance between parents and children and even friends. And we don't mean to. Danny, why do you think it's so hard for people to understand each other?
I think it's because they think differently. They learn differently, they see things differently. Everyone has their own viewpoint, yes. And sometimes those viewpoints don't match. And when that happens, misunderstanding starts. And sometimes that could lead to tension or arguments.
Do you think people are sometimes too focused on themselves that they don't take time to understand?
Yes, sometimes or maybe most times people only focus on their own thoughts and they're not open to hearing others. Some people are just closed minded or they think other opinions don't matter. And when people get misunderstood easily,
Do you think people listen to respond instead of listening to understand?
yes, I think that happens a lot. Some people just respond to keep the conversation going or just get something done with or in the situation, but they're not really understanding what the other person means, what they truly need. Even happens to parents too. So yes, sometimes they are too busy or the children or then we're in the middle of a meeting and answer yes to anything. So be careful, I might ask you for a new car.
Oh my God. I have to be very careful then. Have there been moments where you felt misunderstood in social situations?
Many times, many times. See, sometimes when I go around with people and they don't really include me in conversations. They don't ask me what I think. They just talk to others like I'm not there. And that's very upsetting. It's like I was invisible to them. I remember back in school, high school mostly, there were times I tried joining conversations and people would just walk away like I didn't belong. And that feeling stayed with me.
I am sorry, Danny. You feel that way. That has happened to me too, and I think we all feel that way at some point in our lives. And that doesn't make it really right, but it does give us an opportunity to learn and ensure others don't go through that kind of experience. Have you ever had moments where your brothers don't understand you?
Yeah, sometimes I try to look out for them. And like when they're wrestling around, like I tell them to be careful because I don't want them to get hurt. Like trying to be a good big brother, like I want to be. Then sometimes when that happens, they take me as me being annoying. And sometimes when I joke around just to have fun, they say, "Stop, Daniel, you're being annoying." It may be funny, but it hurts because my intention is not to bother them. It's try to protect them, connect with them, or just to have fun in my unique way. I know my ways can be different than others, but that whole point of understanding each other at home, school, or work, if we take the time and listen to others, guys, and learn, we could understand each other better.
So they're not always understanding your intentions, is what you're saying.
Exactly. And I think that happens a lot. People don't understand the intention behind someone's actions. And that happens a lot. Not just to me, everyone.
How do you handle those situations now?
Now trying to understand the situation beforehand, before putting myself out there, in order people's places before jumping into conclusions. Sometimes people are busy, or they're having bad moments, or they're just different. But I feel like someone doesn't want to try to understand me, I just move on. Because that might not be the right group for me.
What do you think helps people understand each other better?
Mostly listening, and patience, and flexibility. Even if someone is different or don't agree with you, you should still listen because you might learn something new.
Absolutely. Do you think the world could be different if people understand each other a little bit more?
Oh, absolutely. I think it would be better, in my opinion, but not about else's. It'd be less judgmental, be less conflicting, and be more peaceful. People would respect each other more.
And that's really what this channel is all about, understanding different perspectives with respect.
Because everyone sees the world in their own way. And that's just not a bad thing, ladies and gentlemen. But what about you guys? I have a question for you guys. Have you felt misunderstood?
Tell us your what if question in the comments.
Yeah, it's right down below. So, my answer to today's what if is understanding each other takes effort. But I'm telling you, it's definitely worth it.
Thanks for watching.
And we will see you in the next what if. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell for future update on the next videos. Until then, we'll see you next time.